Nice worthless chest. You're a big lad. I tell you, I look forward to seeing more out of you. Plenty of power, that's for sure. Don't want to slide in. Right there, just check it in. You silent wave a little bit, start with last year's winner, Kane Francis, the Hurricane. After a tough year that included injury, he's back to try and retain the title.
I like to think I'm pretty resilient, and there's never been a moment where I thought about giving up. January 13th, I went in for my surgery to have my adductor tendon reattached along with a hernia. Also had a 10 centimetre tear in my adductor brevis. So I definitely had the moments where I thought, can I come back from this? Can I get back to where I was? Am I able to get back to being a national champion? That obviously goes through your head. But then as you start to recover, as you start to see improvements, you start to realise, like, yes, you are made of glass, but there's nothing you can't do if you want it bad enough. And I love strongman. My life revolves around it. It's the only true passion I have in my life outside of just home life. So I never thought that I wouldn't be back on the gym floor. I thought I might not be as good as I was, but now I'm confident that I can be better.
So for me, it was probably worse than him. I was a nervous wreck. You have everything going through your mind, like all the what ifs, how are we going to overcome this, and all those things. But for Kane, it was just another challenge, an obstacle to overcome. He just took it on the chin and just went with it. You always think the worst case scenario, you're thinking, what's going to happen? Is he going to be okay? Is he ever going to compete again? But yeah, he just saw it as another challenge and just got on with it really well. So Kane is Kane. He's like a big kid, which is great. He's really committed and get up and go. He's always been like that. So the injury was no different.
Right, I have 3, right, okay? Sorry. So around 40. Push that. What was the time? Yeah, 4 hours tight on that side. Yeah. I walk this way. Run away. Have you actually shit pants? It's gone. It's gone.
I don't believe it.
What, Uranus?
You know, it's like that.
Push straight up.
I can feel it. It's like a 0 out of 10.
If I go with a straight knee here, hold the leg here. Hold it.
Since the injury, I've had a lot of time to sit and reflect. I've had a lot of home and life changes made. I've quit my job. I'm starting a new career, which is going to benefit me health-wise and strongman-wise. It's going to free up a lot of time, a lot less stress. With all the body weight I've dropped, I've became a lot fitter, I'm a lot healthier. So I'm not back to 100% strength where I was, but I am more than confident now that once I get back fully to where I was, I'm going to surpass it. I decided 8 weeks ago that I was going to compete at England's Strongest Man and defend my title, and we're now here in York, and tomorrow is the game day.
The first time Tom approached me and the doctor said like, oh, this is good, he can train freely, I was actually the one saying no, because the doctors are not used to this level of athletes. Like, they don't understand how much this guy can lift. So when he had the tendon reattached, it usually takes like 2-3 months just to be attached again and grow in a bit. Oh. When a normal person is free to do whatever they want, they're not going to lift heavy weights. So I told Tom at that time, like, this is a guy that can lift like 400 kilos. We have to like gradually increase his intensity, and that's basically what we did.
I thought he was ready. We made the decision. We were like, let's do 6 weeks of the training block, of the conjugate block that we prepared. We'll do 6 weeks. If you're in good shape and you feel good mentally, we'll go for it. He had no twinges up to that point, so we were like, let's build up. I think the biggest issue for him was going to be the mentality aspect.
Like I said, strongman for me, it started off as just a hobby. I like lifting weights, but it's become a passion. I love doing strongman. I love traveling to shows. I love walking out to a crowd. I love hearing people cheer for me. I love lifting weights. So it wasn't a hard decision to want to come back. It was just the period of time that I thought it was going to take to get here has changed.
So what do you think of this year's lineup for England?
I think this year's lineup for England's Strongest Man is possibly the most competitive lineup we have ever seen.
I think this year's lineup's absolutely class. Every year it seems to somehow get better and better, but it's going to be a good fight, this one. I think everyone's got not a perfect event now, so it's going to be closer than people think.
Paddy Haynes is soaring through, and then there's a man called Andy Flynn, who's also, you know, an extraordinary talent for his size, really. And then there's a whole host of guys who are just hired killers, you know, that they can come through and you know, win the whole thing. It's almost impossible to say who's going to take this.
So what do you think about this year's lineup?
Really good lineup, yeah, absolutely stacked. Obviously, Kane, the returning champion, being here is massive. So
I think it's really hard to call this competition, and I think the points are going to be changing all through the show, which is really exciting.
Do you know, I think this year we've got 6 or 7 guys that could potentially make this podium. I don't think there's one athlete that's got 5 perfect events. Everyone's going to be dropping points on at least 1 or 2 things. So I'd say the clear favourite is going to be Paddy, but you've also got guys like Andy Flynn, you've got Ben Glasscock, you've got Ryan Bennett, who is a previous England's Strongest Man. Andy's just won UK's. This is the best lineup I think we've seen at England's Strongest Man in a very long time. So we've got event number 1, we have the deadlift ladder. So this is 4 bars, fastest time wins, and they start at 320 kilo, and then it's 20 kilo jumps up to 380. So historically, this has normally been a deadlift event that I'm pretty good at. I feel like if it all goes to plan, I should be making a top 5 in the deadlift. So event number 2, we've got the shield carry. This for me is an event I've never done. I've done like a Husafell on the beach in sand, which is totally different, but this is the first time I'll ever have picked up a shield. So I'm either going to be terrible or I could be really good. I have no idea. So event 3, we've got the super yoke. For me, this is one of my best events. I'd say Atlas Stones and yoke are my best events, so we've definitely got a good one for me this week. It's a 420 kilo yoke for 20 meters, fastest time wins. I think this event I can win. So I'm confident on this event. It's not, I've gone a lot heavier before with this same yoke as well. I've done 1,000 pounds on it last year. So I think for me, this is going to be an event I could score good points on, and hopefully this sets me up well for my next event, which is the log, which is the one I got injured on last year. And I would say that we've probably got the best lineup of presses that we've had at England's before. So if I can win the yoke and come out later on the log, it's a good advantage for me to know exactly what I need to do. Event number 5, we've got the sandbag steeplechase. So in the past when we've done this, we've used 240 kilo bags or 150 kilo bags. We've loaded one bag over, ran back, collected the second bag, loaded that, gone around the equipment, loaded it again. This year it's a bit different, so they want us to load a bag fully, 20 meters, and then run back, collect the second bag. So same distance covered, but it definitely affects the cardio a little bit different with a 20-meter sprint rather than a 10. So again, historically, sandbag loading has always been a pretty good event for me. As an athlete, I'm very explosive and I move pretty well. So as long as I can pick the bags the same way I normally can, I'm 15 kilos lighter, so I'm a lot faster. So I would imagine it'd be a good event for me, but it's event 5 after a fairly heavy show. So it is really going to be a test to finish a show of a sandbag race.
The dark horse!
Can you? I've never seen you jump. I did not. What? You can jump? That's crazy. Someone can find out. That's true.
Defending England's strongest man, Kane Francis! Ladies and gentlemen, the Hurricane is here in the Barbican Centre. He is the reigning champion and is about to blow through this competition. Only 6 months ago, he suffered serious injury. He's back to defend the title. Francis at the Barbican Centre rounds up an unbelievable lineup for England.
World's strongest man. Britain's strongest man with her as well. Terry, what are you going to line up today?
No, stick them there.
How much is on there? 300. I'll probably do that. Yeah. Chloe?
Yeah. That's 300 on there now. 300.
It's quite a call, isn't it?
Just get loose exercises, right?
Under 105 kilo world champion, I think England's strongest man as well at one point. Daz, he was our head referee today. Mr. Kane Francis, who's also world's strongest man.
Expected match.
You last.
Second to last, but we're going to go out landing. Conflict of interest for top.
Who knows, he's going to love it.
What do you think about Kane coming back?
I think me coming back's a bigger deal. Just saying. No doubt he's just going to get better and it will just be a scar or a wound to look back on, you know, which we all have many of them. But there's been a lot of athletes, I won't name who, you know, when they get injured, they just don't know how to get going again, can't quite reach the same level again. And it is really hard because you lose that sharpness, you lose that self-confidence, you lose that belief in your body. So, you know, all them out of half a second, so if you half a second picking a sandbag up and there's 4 sandbags, you're 2 seconds slower than you used to be. And the only thing that's different is your mind. So I think with Kane, you know, I'm not saying he's a simple soul, but I just know he'll be behind. And it's worth taking a video and recording the whole thing because it'll be something you can look back on and be proud of.
And in lane number 2, he is the reigning England's strongest man, the Hurricane, Kane Francis.
This is a preferred deadlift of mine. In training, I pulled a pretty comfortable 370. So in my head I thought, right, I know I've got the first 3 bars, so I knew fast 3 would be good points, but knowing right now that my top end strength isn't where it was, I said to Neil Pickup the day before the show, I think I've got probably a 30 to 40% chance of actually finishing the 380.
Is the whistle to start them off, and look at the pace of Kane Francis, accelerated into that unbelievable Chloe.
Absolutely. Telling me yesterday he hasn't been training heavy for the last year. I mean, I think he's coming back quite naturally.
Oh my word, Hurricane by name, unbelievable start there from Francis.
The first 3 were pretty speedy, and then when I pulled that 4th bar, I just thought, fuck me, it got to the knee. And I felt my hip shoot up, so I knew I was going to have to hitch it. And I just remember looking at the referee, Dave, I was thinking, just please give me the fucking signal.
Train the hitch is the mantra, and Kane is fighting this one up. There is the down signal, both men go clear, incredible.
And I got it in the end, but God, it took more out of me than it should have. But yeah, it was a hard lift to pull. Obviously, I had a few, probably a good little lead on Andy Flynn, who I was with on the deadlift ladder there, and I seen him as I'm sort of pulling the 380. I could see him out the corner of my eye just finishing the 360, and then by the time that I locked it out, he'd already finished. So I think it took me 12 seconds to do the first 3 bars, and it took me 21 seconds or 20 seconds to get the last bar. So it was a fight. And looking back on it, I believe Jack Osborne, he had the fastest 3, which was 18 seconds. So I had the slowest 4, but when I went back and checked my times, I did the first 3 in 12 seconds. So regardless of whether I got the 4th bar or not, it wouldn't have changed the points for me, but I was happy that I got the 4th bar, I got the down call. So I finished 6th on the first event, which I could say for me, I wasn't happy with that result, but I got through it, and that first event, just knowing I could pull a heavy deadlift without popping my leg again, that was like a mental barrier. We just jumped over that, and then it was like, right, that's done now. We've done the first event. Let's just get stuck into the show.
How was that?
Nerve-wracking. Heart's banging so fast.
Smashed it? All 4 bars?
Yeah, I was like 30-40% chance I was going to get the 380 yesterday. Obviously I don't know where I am, haven't done maximal training, so hopefully if that's good enough for a top 4 or top 5, that's exactly where I wanted to be.
So, Paddy, big expectations for yourself coming into this competition, and then you're off with quite a lot of pressure given the last 3 years.
Has anyone got any super glue?
No. I've left one at home.
We'll go and get some from the shop.
No. Well done, X.
You know what? I'm here for every situation.
Let's have a look, Kane.
Usually. Right now. There's a co-op opposite.
No, I'll probably chop it off.
Really? Yeah. I'm just surprised. Yeah. When I was out there ready to go, I was like...
I was unsure if I was even going to be able to grip that 340.
I think the bars are solid.
They're nice.
It's actually the hand that I didn't think was going to tear as well. Glue it down, maybe.
Try and push it down and glue it down.
Yeah.
See what the para's saying.
Oh, sweet. That's from Josh.
I'll probably glue it down, yeah. Yeah. Give a shout for you, dude.
Cheers, mate. Do you know what? There's obviously Olivia has been with me through every moment of this. Like, she's my fiance. She sees everything that no one else sees as well. So like the first 3 weeks of my surgery, after my surgery, I was bedridden. I couldn't even really walk. So she was cooking my food. She probably hate that I said, but I had to have a couple of sponge baths as well, which I did not enjoy. But she actually had to do everything, my shopping, my food. Like, she set up the living room for me. She made sure that I didn't have to use any stairs. She just was there through all of it. So everything I do is not really possible without her.
We're just starting now, guys.
Gonna have some sore arms tomorrow.
So the shield carry, we had a 200 kilo shield. This is an event that I've never done in a competition before. I've done a Husafel sandbag on a beach. So I wouldn't even compare the two because it's a very different implement and the ground's totally different. For me, this was the damage limitation for the weekend. I didn't know how well I was going to do on this. I haven't got the advantage of locking my fingers because I've got very short limbs, like some of the guys have got, and it turned out them guys did the best in that event who could hold on to it like that.
Listen for the whistle from Darren Sadler to start them off. Kane Francis, Ben Glasgow underway, and both men start to steadily, diligently build up that pace. This is definitely a marathon, not a sprinter's.
I was out mid-pack from the deadlift on the finish, so I just thought, right, just find a marker, go for that. I think Paul Smith was about 2 meters in front of me, so I could see his mark on the floor. I just wanted to do the first run, first of all. I got the turn, got to the 40 meters, and I think I did 42 or 43 meters or something in the end. So for me, I was happy with that. That was a 5th place. It was much better than I thought I was going to do. I was seeing myself in that event realistically around maybe 8th to 10th. So that was a good event, but it did take a lot out of me. Very hamstring dominant. For me, I was having to lean back because I'm holding it in my biceps. So carrying the weight wasn't actually a problem like I thought it would be. It was the endurance of my legs and my hamstrings. Once I felt the shield come down a bit, it was all hamstrings for me. So I just fought it as long as I could, but it was good enough for 5th and I'm happy with that.
I went until I couldn't go anymore.
Well done, Kane. You all right?
Yeah. My hamstrings gave out. As I turned, I could see maybe shield mark on the floor, wherever it was. I seen the mark, I thought just get to the mark. And I felt it going, so I dived to the mark. At least I got probably my best event next. Should probably start warming up.
Yeah, so event 3 we had the super yoke. It was, I think they said it was 420 kilos. So for me, yoke is an event that I would like to call one of my bankers. It's an event that I don't even train that much. I just seem to be quite naturally good at it. I think we actually trained it twice leading into England. I think I did one session where I went up to about 320 and then another session where I just hit 400. And I was doing it about 7 seconds in training, 20 meters. So this yoke that we use at Giants Live, it's the big wooden oak yoke or whatever it is. It's a very good yoke to use, but it's quite wide, so it requires you to sort of squeeze off the back quite a lot. Yeah, I'm in a good spot. Joined 4th with Pixie. Yoke's my best event in the show. Last year, same weight, different yoke, but I won this event with 10 seconds. So I think I was joined with Luke Richardson, but I picked him up about half a second. So
super yoking. We've got these
probably my favourite event of the day.
Put into place.
Should definitely make some points.
If you're watching the live stream,
I haven't even done one, so.
all right, come on. My points are kicked. And the first one and lane number 2. The man from Sunderland in lane 2.
England's strongest 2025. Listen for the whistle from Darren Sadler. Kane Francis is up like a rocket, loses the balance a little bit, but resets himself just as quickly, Chloe.
This is speedy. Recovered really well from that drop, coming right to the end now. And I think that's going to be a good time for Kane.
He dropped it and still won. But again, his mentality going to the yoke was, I'm winning that. We did 2 yoke sessions. It shows he doesn't need a lot of work on the yoke. It's innate, he is just good at it, but he's also confident. Whereas the deadlift, you could do was like, there was a little bit of doubt. You haven't lifted that final bar yet. We knew it was in him. We did all the numbers. We know it was in him. But the yoke was just like rapid. He doesn't have that drop. He wins that by a mile.
I knew I was fast enough. I didn't drop it because it was too heavy. I dropped it because I set off too quickly. So I picked it up and it felt so light. I thought, I don't really need to take a couple of steps. I could just go straight into a sprint on this. And it did bite me in the ass a little bit. But it felt light on my back. And it's not often... That's how I know I peaked well for it as well, because when you pick up 420 kilos, it's 420 kilos, like it's heavy, but it felt good on my back. So as soon as I set off, quick stumble, reset, and then I just picked up momentum. This event, I knew I needed to do well on because the next event is the one that got me injured in the first place. So I thought if I can just win the yoke, be out last on the log press, then I know exactly what I need to do, and it takes a little bit of pressure off just having to go all out on the log, which I did anyway, but at least I knew I had a number to hit, and that carried me through quite well into the next event. If Paul Smith beats me on yoke, I'm not going to be happy. He beat me by 2 meters on shield.
All scores at England's strongest man 25, and what a story. Paddy Haynes is out there, 32 points. Right behind him is the flying Flynn.
Yeah, event 4 we had the log press. As everyone knows, this is the one that sort of ended Britain's strongest man for me and sort of ruined my whole year. Leading into this competition, we were about 4 weeks out and I was failing competition weight for 1 rep. I could barely press 150. So this one, leading into the comp, I was thinking, shit, we're gonna have a problem here. Like, I don't want to zero it, and I knew I was gonna lose some points. And then, like I said before, as we were about 4 weeks out, I started to be able to press 150 quite well, and I didn't post it online, but the last week before the competition, I hit 150 for 5, which matched my best ever in competition, but I did that in training for 5 reps, and I did it in 40 seconds. So I messaged Tom, and I said, like, I think we're going to do well on log here. I thought if I can do 5 or 6 in competition, I thought that's going to be good points. Like, there's a lot of good presses, but 4 events in, with a super yoke, a heavy deadlift, max shield, I thought that even the top presses are going to be losing a few reps here.
He knows he can be, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see him watch his progression over the next few years. He's a big boy, isn't he? He's very good as well.
So with that, I think we are ready to get started on
the words from Rob Frampton.
Ready to go, let's give him a little intro. More Tommy first. Here is myself. Lifting on platform number 1 is Mr. Dan McNicholas. And on platform repetition there, no mean feat, but in the hands, Bad Rhino sponsored log press for reps. Listen for the whistle. We are underway, and Paddy Haynes closest to myself. There is the first one for both athletes.
The first one was taken away, rightly so as well. It wasn't a good rep. I didn't hold it for long enough. The ceiling sort of put my balance off a little bit. They disallowed it, but I didn't let it affect me. I knew it wasn't a rep, so I just jumped straight back into it. And I hit 6. And honestly, if I had more time, I felt like I could have pressed it maybe 2 more times. So that just shows how well my logs press has come on. And this is probably the event that I thought I might do worst in. You overthink it so much because the last thing you want to do is snap something again. But by the time we got to the competition, I'd pressed the log so many times. It didn't really concern me. Like I said earlier, when we got that first event with the deadlift out of the way, I was back into competition mode again. I didn't have to think about, is this going to happen again? Because I'd already trained it, and we're in the comp now. So it's it's a weird one because you'd think that would worry me, but it didn't. I just wanted to get through the show, and everything was feeling good up to this point as well. So I just thought, just push through to the end now.
I locked it, but then I didn't hold it long enough. It came down. Yeah, I agreed with him. I knew I didn't get it when he said no. Yeah, steeplechase to go. Hamstrings are shagged. So what a great event to end on. It's fucking horrible anyway, let alone with dead legs.
At least it's last though.
At least it's last, at least we're nearly done.
That's the thing.
Currently sat in third. I think I'm about 4 points clear of fourth maybe. So all I've got to do is come top 7, and I've got a podium I think, maybe. It depends what everyone else does.
What are you going to do to win the event?
We'll check that match.
I think I'm 1.5 points behind Paddy.
Yeah.
And 3.5 points behind Flynn.
Shortly, Kane Francis on 36.5 points. He's only 1.5 points back. If he made it back on the podium, I think that would just be extraordinary. Takes a breath and then tries to get it up again and lap it for a big finish, Chloe.
But you did 2 bags over.
One more question. Obviously, you are very well established in the 105 category. You dipped your toe into the...
How's your water top? It is.
Nice one. Fucking smashed that. The first picture, I think I might have done behind. Obviously that. This is a different ball game, like. This is crazy. You guys are unbelievable. I can't believe how hard these shows are. I've got a whole new respect for this. This is unbelievable.
I saw a lot of people that realise, like, I'm used to fast pace, and they come to one of these, it's like, it's conditioning as well. And the more these happen, like, they get so much more efficient with it.
Yeah.
They can set up so quickly.
Oh yeah.
It's hard for us.
Tom, you done yourself fucking proud, Tom.
Yeah, mate.
The fact you're able to finish tells me grade 1.
Yeah.
I just watched that last sandbag and I thought, I'm really struggling to do that. I was fucking struggling in training big time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, really bad.
Oh nice, alright. You got this though.
Yeah,
you got it, man.
Yeah, I've done it before. It's just conditioning.
Yeah.
It's not fully conditioned at the moment. Yeah, so event 5 we had sandbag medley. It was 2 150 bags, but they only had 140 kilo sand in. So this changed it up quite a bit because the bags are built for 150, and with the 10 kilos less in there, they made them a little bit floppy on the pick sometimes. I don't train sandbags much, but they were going well. I did it in training, I think 10 kilo under comp weight. I did it in training in like 36 seconds, which matched what I did in England's in 2023 as well. So I thought, I knew I was capable of top 3 on this event. I've dropped, at the time of the competition, I think I was 22 kilo down from the last time I competed in bodyweight, so I knew I was going to be a bit fitter, I knew I was going to be faster. I feel like I can probably rip a bag off the ground faster than most in that competition, but moving with it for me, I'm normally pretty quick, but I knew I wasn't as quick as some of these guys, so going against Ben was a really good pace setter for me.
And I want everybody, if you don't mind, just stand up for a moment and give a massive round of applause for the bravery and the courage of the returning England's strongest man, Kane Francis. 6 months ago, this guy had a potentially career-threatening injury, and he was so determined to come back and defend the title. And Francis, we salute you, mate. Phenomenal effort. Britain's strongest man for the last time tonight, Kane Francis. Here we go. Ben Glasscock in 1, Francis in 2. Listen for the whistle from Darren Sadler.
Both athletes off to a great start here. Quick pick up. Kane launching that bag a fair distance over that hurdle.
Tremendous athleticism being shown here by both men, and they roar down this 20-metre course and pick up the second of our 150 kilo sandbags. And Francis and Glasscock finishing so very strongly here. Big launch for Francis. Ben Glasscock is the first up the floor, but the big finish is everything here. And it's Ben and Kane with very little to choose between them. Wow! Ben Glasgow, Kane Francis, wow! Ladies and gentlemen, it's in the books, and here is the podium for England's Strongest Man 2025. Please give a massive round of applause for your third place finisher today, hailing from Weymouth, Dorset, Mr. Kane Francis. The Hurricane blows into third place here. An incredibly impressive performance for Francis, returning after that career-threatening injury and showing that he is competitive. Once again, great day here for the Hurricane.
Yeah, a lot of people from our hometown, Weymouth, will know that Kane has come on leaps and bounds in the last sort of 10 years since we've been together. And yeah, just how far he's come. I think sometimes you're just always wanting that next obstacle, that next goal, just pushing yourself all the time, that sometimes you forget to sit there and think actually how far you've come from. So yeah.
Really happy with his performance. Not surprised. Kane had an incredible momentum leading up to it. So it was a weird one. So the first 6 weeks was all right. He had a few holidays, a few breaks, didn't really gain any what I talk about in terms of momentum. But then the final 6 weeks, and especially the final 4 weeks, he just went through the roof. He peaked so well. I was literally saying to him, I was like, this is yours. You could win this with all these numbers.
I think that Kane as a person is the perfect PR person for the sport. And that's also one of the reasons I want him to win. I believe that his personality, not just that he's good in the sport, but also his personality will be a super good PR for the sport.
With his journey, he has come on a hell of a way. Most people wouldn't sort of achieve what he's achieved from where they've come from. So ultra proud of him for that. And yeah, just obviously you never know what everyone's been through or what they're going through. And sometimes the gym can sort of give you that escape and that release. So yeah, everyone's different, but I think for Kane, that's his way of expressing himself and what he enjoys.
Third, happy with this, coming back off that injury, top 3 in England still. Literally could not ask for a better result. So stay tuned for Britain's Strongest Man because we're coming for another podium. I think I've probably got another 7 or 8 years in the sport. I'm 33 now, so I'd like to think I could go until about 40, 42 maybe, but it depends how my body holds up. So I'm just enjoying the ride and we'll see wherever it takes us. I know I can make a World's Strongest Man final when I'm on form, and that's all I care about. That's the next goal. It's Brits, qualify for Worlds. Once I'm at Worlds, it's like, right, now I need to make a final, and then we go from there. Like, it's as simple as that.
I think he has the abilities to win World's Strongest Man based on what events they normally put out. The thing that was holding him back before was his job. That's changed, but it gives us the solution of time, because he's going to be able to train either every day or twice a day sometimes, once he figures out his routine.
That's my plan. I want him to win. Yeah, I want him to be an action figure. If it is the right events, then I think it's like he would be top 1, 2 in the world, because he has what it needs. He just have to have the chances to do it and be injury free. And this time, what we focused on when he rehabbed his groin was also starting focus on other weak links. And one of the weak link is mobility.
Looking back over the last 7 months, strongman, it's not just a sport. Strongman is about being strong mentally. It's about resilience. It's about consistency. It's about inspiring people as well. That's one thing I've learned over the last 7 months, is the amount of people that I've had message me and say, I've seen what you've done, they've had similar injuries, they think there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but there fucking is. Like, I've just come back off a huge injury that was nearly career ending, and I'm back to a national podium in 6 months. I'm going to Britain's Strongest Man, and I'm going to be competitive. So strongman isn't just picking up heavy shit and moving it, like I said before. It's about inspiring people. It's about achieving your goals and knowing that you can do it as well. It's a whole load of things just wrapped into one little parcel, and it's a good community as well. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
It's a good answer. It's better than last time.
Yeah.